The year is 2025. Three robotic landers, American, Chinese, and Russian Chinese, touch down on the moon's south pole. The American lander scouts for Artemis astronauts, while the Chinese drill for water ice. The Russian-Chinese mission unfurls solar panels, signaling a new alliance. On Earth, the world watches. This is more than science. It's a geopolitical chess match on a cosmic scale. The goal isn't just to plant flags. It's to establish a permanent presence and secure resources. Will space become a new arena for conflict or inspire global cooperation? The race has begun. To see where we're headed, we must look back. The original space race was born from Cold War rivalry, capitalism versus communism. Sputnik's launch in 1957 ignited a race for the ultimate high ground. The US responded with NASA and Kennedy's goal: land a man on the moon before the decade's end. The Soviets scored early wins: first satellite, first animal, first human in orbit. The climax, July 20th, 1969. Neil Armstrong's step on the moon was a triumph for humanity. Rivalry softened into cooperation, symbolized by Apollo-Soyuz and the International Space Station. Today, China and private companies have changed the game. The race is on, again. After decades in low Earth orbit, the US is aiming for the moon and beyond with the Artemis program. Artemis isn't about repeating Apollo. It's about building a sustainable human presence, a lunar base camp and the gateway station in lunar orbit. The ultimate goal: use the moon as a stepping stone to Mars. This new era is powered by public-private partnerships. NASA collaborates with companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, driving down costs and accelerating innovation. SpaceX's Crew Dragon now routinely ferries astronauts to the ISS, marking a shift from NASA as sole operator to anchor customer. Artemis is also about alliances. The Artemis Accords unite dozens of countries under principles of transparency and peaceful exploration. The US leads a global coalition, contrasting the go-it-alone Apollo era. But challenges remain. Delays, budget overruns, and shifting political winds threaten progress. The space launch system is costly and slow to develop. Artemis's success or failure will define America's role in space for decades. The pressure is on to deliver results. America's leadership is being tested as never before. The world is watching. While the US looked inward, China quietly built a world-class space program. China's approach is patient, state-driven, and relentless. Space is a national priority, executed with military precision. In 2 decades, China has sent taikonauts to orbit, built its own space station, and landed rovers on the Moon and Mars. It was first to land on the Moon's far side and returned lunar samples to Earth. The Tiangong space station stands as a symbol of China's independence. China aims to land taikonauts on the Moon by 2030, a direct challenge to Artemis. With Russia, China plans a permanent international lunar research station at the Moon's south pole, forming a rival bloc to the US-led coalition. US officials now call China America's pacing challenge in space. China's program is deeply tied to its military, raising concerns about dual-use technology and strategic control. The world watches as China's ambitions grow. Will they lead to shared discovery or new competition in the heavens? The stakes are rising. The dragon ascends. Russia, heir to the Soviet Union, boasts a storied space legacy: Sputnik, Gagarin, and decades of orbital expertise. For years, Soyuz was the world's workhorse, especially after the US shuttle retired. But today, Russia faces challenges: underfunding, brain drain, and lost prestige after SpaceX ended its monopoly on ISS crew transport. Roscosmos is caught between its glorious past and an uncertain future. Russia is modernizing its infrastructure and planning its own orbital station, Ross, for the post-ISS era. Isolated from the West, Russia has pivoted to China, forging a strategic alliance. The Joint International Lunar Research Station is the centerpiece, giving Russia a path back to the moon. This partnership creates a powerful axis in space, challenging the US-led Artemis coalition. Yet, Russia risks becoming the junior partner to China's dynamic program. The nation that once led the world now fights to stay relevant. Its legacy is at stake. The next chapter is uncertain. Will Russia shape the future or become a relic? Space is no longer distant or abstract. It's central to national security, economic power, and global influence. The nation that leads in space holds a decisive advantage on Earth. Control of Earth orbit and beyond is now essential for any global power. Satellites are the backbone of modern militaries. Navigation, communication, surveillance, and missile detection all depend on them. Anti-satellite weapons are turning space into a potential war zone. Economically, space is booming. Satellites, launch services, and applications like internet, weather, and agriculture are worth hundreds of billions. The prospect of mining the moon and asteroids for water, helium-3, and metals could spark a new industrial revolution. Politically, space achievements project soft power and shape international alliances. The Artemis Accords and Sino-Russian partnerships are building new diplomatic blocs. As we push further, questions of governance and resource rights will define the rules of the new frontier. Those present and capable will write those rules. The stakes are generational. The future is being decided now. Despite rivalry, space exploration is also a story of remarkable cooperation. The International Space Station is the ultimate symbol, built and operated by the US, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada. Astronauts and cosmonauts depend on each other, forging a unique culture above politics. The ISS partnership has survived geopolitical storms, serving as a rare channel of communication. But this era may be ending. Russia plans to leave the ISS after 2028, focusing on its own station and lunar partnership with China. China, excluded from the ISS by US law, has built its own station, splitting the world into rival camps. This division raises risks. Without communication and coordination, the chance of miscalculation grows. More satellites and stations mean more risk of collisions and interference. Without shared rules, space could become a Wild West. Scientific collaboration persists, but strategic competition is pushing nations apart. The future of space may be defined by this tension: cooperation versus rivalry. The stakes are high. The outcome is uncertain. The new horizon is permanent presence. First on the moon, then Mars. The lunar South Pole is prime real estate, rich in water ice, vital for life support and rocket fuel. Both Artemis and the Sino-Russian ILRS target this region for bases and resource extraction. Early missions will map resources and build habitats, paving the way for long-term human crews. The moon will be a testbed for surviving radiation, dust, and extremes, crucial for Mars. Mars is the ultimate goal, a multi-year journey, pushing technology and human endurance to the limit. NASA's Moon to Mars strategy sees the lunar base as a training ground and logistical hub. Private companies, especially SpaceX, are driving the dream of a self-sustaining city on Mars. Starship is being built for this purpose. A crewed Mars mission is still decades away, but groundwork is underway. The moon race is just the first leg of the journey to Mars. The dream is alive. Humanity stands at a crossroads. The new space race is driving innovation and progress, but also risks deepening divisions. One path leads to conflict. The moon carved into rival zones, space militarized, resources contested. Without clear laws, miscalculation and escalation are real dangers. The other path leads to unity, shared goals, international law, and the moon as a scientific preserve. The strengths of all spacefaring nations combined could accelerate progress for all. The cosmos reflects our ingenuity and our flaws. As we step into the universe, we carry both competition and cooperation. Will we export our rivalries or finally work together as one species? The new space race's ultimate prize isn't the moon or Mars. It's the character of our future as a spacefaring civilization. The choice is ours. The next chapter begins now.